Hello, my name is Steve Tipman, and I'm the Executive Director of TFO Canada. And it's my pleasure to offer some thoughts on this year's International Development Week 2021. Now, the theme for this year is the same as last, which is very focused on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And so the theme is called Go for the Goals, and very focused on gender equality, health, and climate change. This theme actually illustrates the idea of moving forward collaboratively in a positive way towards a better world, and to shift the world towards a less wasteful, less destructive, more sustainable, and equitable mindset. Now, when I look at, the challenges that we have all faced in the past year, particularly related to COVID-19 pandemic, we recognize that the women have really faced a very particular challenge. In fact, the World Trade Organization reports that women are more likely to be negatively affected by COVID-19 related trade disruptions rather than men, particularly in least developed countries and developing countries. And this is often because women are the caregivers and caretakers in families, as well as working as frontline workers. And so, as such, they actually bear larger labor responsibilities. Women are often overrepresented in many of the industries that have been hardest hit by COVID-19, such as the food service, retail, and entertainment. And so, for example, 40% of all employed women work in hard-hit sectors compared to 36.6% of men. And so when I look at, the importance of TFO Canada's work, we recognize that women's economic empowerment leads to sustainable socioeconomic development of local communities. And so when I look at the Going for the Goals theme, our work at TFO Canada is very focused on two specific goals, 2 of the 17. The first being the achievement of gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls, and the second one being around goal number 8, which is promoting sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. And this is really done through a lot of the work that we do in terms of helping women entrepreneurs gain markets through export to foreign countries. We know that women's economic empowerment is very central to realizing women's rights and gender equality. We also want to make sure that women in the economy are closing the gender gaps in the world, and work is being done in terms of achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And we also recognize that when women work, economies grow. And so a lot of the type of work that TFO Canada does is not only in supporting entrepreneurs in developing countries, but we do have a particular focus oftentimes on women-led and women-owned small, medium enterprise, helping them to not only understand how to export products to foreign markets, but to also help them in development of export plans and actually connecting them to foreign markets by introducing them to buyers, whether this be through virtual trade shows or in-person trade events that took place, I guess, prior to COVID. Now, since COVID-19, of course, a lot of our activities have been virtual and online. A particular success story I'd like to share, maybe just to talk a little bit more about, the work that we do, is with a women's social enterprise based out of Cambodia called Village Works. Back in 2016, we created a project called Artisan Hub, and it was a program that supported producers and artisans from least developed countries to access the Canadian market. And through Artisan Hub, Village Works participated in a trade show in Toronto in 2017 and another one in New York City in 2018. And it was really their first exposure to both the Canadian as well as the U.S. market. And since then, they've actually been able to secure orders and sell their products to both Canada and the United States. And of course, this has meant employment growth and really empowering women in at the social enterprise to be able to earn a living and provide for their families. So I guess in closing, when I think about the importance of this year's International Development Week, I'm reminded of TFO Canada's mission to improving lives through the creation of sustainable trade partnerships for exporters from developing countries with Canadian and foreign buyers. This is something that we've been doing for many years, for actually over 40 years now, and it's something that we continue to want to push forward on. And of course, we are hugely supportive of the UN Sustainable Development Goals and are totally in line with this year's themes. And we will be doing our part to go for the goals. Thank you.